EgyptAir Flight 804 was a regularly scheduled international passenger flight operated by EgyptAir from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport to Cairo International Airport. The Airbus A320 crashed into the Mediterranean Sea on May 19, 2016 at 2:33 Egypt Standard Time, killing all 56 passengers, 3 security personnel, and 7 crew members on board. Although smoke was detected in one of the aircraft's lavatories, no Mayday call was received by air traffic control. What happened? Stick around while we are about to uncover the mystery behind this crash. The plane in question was an Airbus A320-232, registration SUGCC, MSN 2088, with 2 IAE V2527A5 engines. It first flew on July 25, 2003, and was delivered to EgyptAir on November 3, 2003. The plane had flown from Asmara International Airport in Eritrea to Cairo, then from Cairo to Tunis-Carthage International Airport in Tunisia and back. Flight 803 to Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport was the aircraft's final completed flight before it crashed. At 23:09, the plane departed from Charles de Gaulle Airport for Cairo International Airport. On May 19th at 2:30, it vanished from radar while flying at flight level 370 in clear weather, 280 kilometers north of the Egyptian coast, and roughly the same distance from Castellorizo over the eastern Mediterranean. When the last ACARS message was sent at 2:33, the plane crashed into the sea. The flight had been 3 hours and 25 minutes long. The plane was scheduled to land at 3:05 p.m. The Egyptian military initially reported that a distress signal from emergency devices was detected at 4:26, 2 hours after the last radar contact. Officials later retracted this statement. Panos Kamenos, Greece's defense minister, observed the aircraft changing direction 90 degrees to the left, then 360 degrees to the right as it descended from flight level 370 to 15,000 feet on the crash day. On May 23rd, an Egyptian official from the National Air Navigation Services Company denied this information, claiming there was no change in altitude or unusual movement before the aircraft vanished from radar. On June 14th, Egyptian authorities confirmed Greek officials' statements. According to a former investigator, the initial left turn may have exceeded computer-controlled flight protections and come close to or exceeded the aircraft's structural design limits. The 66 passengers and crew members were all killed. They each had citizenship in 13 different countries. On board were 56 passengers from 12 different countries. According to reports, 3 children were among the passengers, including 2 infants. Some of the passengers were dual citizens. The 10-person crew included 2 pilots, 5 flight attendants, and 3 security personnel. EgyptAir reported that Captain Mohammed Shokir had 6,200 hours of flight time, including 2,000 hours on the A320, and First Officer Mohammed Assem had 2,700 hours. The Egyptian Civil Aviation Ministry confirmed that search and rescue teams had been dispatched to look for the missing aircraft. The search was carried out in collaboration with Greek authorities. According to an Egyptian Civil Aviation Agency spokesman, the plane most likely crashed into the sea. Greece and France sent aircraft and naval ships to the area to help with search and rescue efforts, and the United Kingdom sent a naval ship, while the United States sent a naval aircraft. On May 26th, it was reported that satellites had detected signals from the aircraft's emergency locator transmitter, narrowing the area where the main wreckage was likely to be located on the seabed to a radius of 5 kilometers. At impact, an emergency locator transmitter sends a radio distress signal. This is not the signal from an underwater locator beacon attached to a flight recorder, which is an ultrasonic pulse. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration confirmed that satellites received the emergency locator transmitter signal minutes after the airliner vanished from radar. On May 22nd, an Egyptian remotely operated underwater vehicle owned by the country's oil ministry joined the search for the missing plane. According to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the ROV can operate at a depth of 3,000 meters. According to Egypt's Civil Aviation Ministry's chief investigator, Ayman al-Muqaddam, the ROV cannot detect signals from flight recorders. According to the French aircraft investigation body, the Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis for Civil Aviation Safety, a more specialized French Navy ship, the oceanographic research ship Laplace, left the Corsican post of Porto Vecchio for the search area on May 27th. The vessel can deploy 3 towed Alcimar hydrophone arrays designed to detect a ULB from up to nearly 4 kilometers away. On June 1st, the Egyptian Civil Aviation Ministry reported that Laplace had detected pings from a ULB on one of the flight recorders. The BEA confirmed this, announcing the establishment of a priority search area in a statement. The disappearance and crash of Flight 804 were initially linked to terrorism and insurgency in the region. For example, the Egyptian Civil Aviation Ministry stated on May 19th that Flight 804 was most likely attacked. 2 U.S. officials believed a bomb brought the plane down, and a senior official said that monitoring equipment focused on the area at the time detected evidence of an explosion on board the plane. Other officials from multiple U.S. agencies said they had seen no evidence of an explosion in satellite imagery, and another 2 intelligence officials said there is still nothing to suggest foul play. According to Greek military radar data, Flight 804 veered off course shortly after entering the Egyptian flight information region. At flight level 370, the plane made a 90-degree left turn, then a 360-degree right turn before beginning to descend sharply. At an altitude of about 10,000 feet, radar contact was lost. On May 23rd, an Egyptian official from the National Air Navigation Services Company denied this information, stating that there was no change in altitude and no unusual movement before the aircraft vanished from radar. On June 14th, Egyptian authorities confirmed Greek official statements. 7 messages were received from the aircraft via the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System (ACARS) between 2:26 and 2:29 local time. Contact was lost 4 minutes later at 2:33. According to the data, which was confirmed by France's Bureau of Investigations and Analysis, smoke was detected in the front of the airliner in the front lavatory and the avionics bay beneath the cockpit. In the event of a sudden loss of pressure inside the cabin, smoke detectors of the type installed on aircraft can also be triggered by the condensation of water vapor, producing fog. Egyptian authorities investigated with assistance from French investigators and other international agencies. The ACARS transmitted messages indicating that smoke had been detected in the aircraft's lavatory and avionics bay shortly before the crash. However, the crew did not issue a distress call or communicate any problems to air traffic control. Examination of the recovered wreckage suggests that there may have been a fire on board the aircraft. Damage consistent with high temperatures was found in the area of the avionics bay. Despite this, no evidence of explosives was found on the recovered wreckage, suggesting that terrorism did not cause the crash. The exact cause of the crash could not be definitively determined, but the investigation considered the possibility of an electrical fire in the avionics bay as a likely scenario. This fire could have caused a loss of control in the subsequent crash of the aircraft. The Paris prosecutor's office announced in June 2016 that a preliminary investigation into the accident would begin because no evidence of terrorism had been found. Instead, the office opened a manslaughter investigation. A report commissioned as part of the French investigation and seen by Le Parisien in April 2019 stated that the aircraft was not airworthy. Crews failed to report recurring defects on at least 4 previous flights, and the aircraft was not checked according to the procedure. The ECAM system had issued approximately 20 alerts the day before the flight, including alerts indicating an electrical problem that could result in a fire. Instead, pilots reset circuit breakers and cleared the messages. More warnings had been issued as early as May 1, 2016, but the airline had ignored them. BEA's premises had to be searched under a warrant as part of the investigation to obtain this data, which occurred in October 2018. According to the BEA, international aviation law does not require them to provide information to French judicial investigators. They initially denied having recorded data, but later explained that automatic backups had kept the data after the original files were deleted. A spark or flame from a cigarette is believed to ignite the oxygen. According to the report, the pilot's mask was replaced 3 days before the crash, and its setting was left on emergency rather than normal, causing oxygen to be emitted and resulting in the fire. According to confidential documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal in December 2019, an oxygen leak may have caused the fire, and a sound similar to a high-pressure leak was heard on the CVR before the captain declared a fire while passengers were moving to the back of the plane. Thank you for stopping by to watch. Please subscribe to the channel and post your video recommendations in the comments area below if you'd like us to do more films like this.